everyone! Today I want to talk about a few things that I find weird in Australia. Before I begin, out of previous experience, I know I have to make two disclaimers, so here we go. Firstly is that I live in Victoria, and more specifically in the Melbourne area, and if you're one of those people who think that all Australians are the same and share a nice stubby around the barbie, you're gonna be wrong. Because all the different states house very different people, and even within a specific state, people can be very different. So if I'm saying something that you haven't experienced or you think is wrong, it might be right for me. Secondly, I don't mean weird in a bad way. I know I'm in a different country, I know things are gonna be different if I'm in a different country, and I don't mean it's weird as in it's bad. It's just that it's different for me. And the main reason I call it weird is because YouTube likes this word, and if you think that's a shallow reason, then go look up the most popular video on my channel right now. To start off with number one, which is basically the whole reason that I'm making this video, is advertisements on the radio. So a while back, Evan Edinger made a video with Jay Foreman about advertisements and how they're different in England and in the US. And that finally made me realize what I find so weird about the Australian advertisement on the radio. Because the thing is, there's no segregation. Because right after the newsreader tells you that there is a pile-up on the M3, it will straight go to, do you want a house loan? And it's like the same person saying it in the same voice. And it just baffles me. It just messes with my brain because I'm used to newsreaders reading the news and advertisements being advertisements. People who read the news in the Netherlands won't ever tell you an advertisement. They're supposed to be objective, they're supposed to be objective and not subjective, and advertisements are very subjective. So it just feels really weird for me to hear this newsreader read out the traffic or read out the news and then straight on tell me that there's a bucket deal at KFC. It's just really weird. I just realized I'm talking pretty fast today. I'll try to slow down. And what's better to slow you down than sugar? Because the thing is, here in Australia, they call all candies and sweets lollies. And why this is so weird to me is because when we learn English in school, aka British basically, you will learn the word candy or sweets. Candy is a bit more American, I believe. Anyway, there is this whole like covering word for all sweets, all candies. And lollies are a hard candy on a stick. It's one type of candy. But here, wine gums and lollies and hard candies and everything is called lollies. It's so weird. I just realized I'm gonna be saying weird a lot in this video. One thing that I missed when I made my video about driving in Australia is the petrol prices. The petrol prices here go up and down like a freaking yo-yo. I have seen the petrol price go from $1.25 one day up to $1.65 the next day, and then down to $1.45 the other, like the day after. It literally just bounces up and down. And back in the Netherlands, it's much more regulated, and it's also that the petrol stations can't actually divert that much of the price, and it's bound to like the oil price in the world or something like that. Here it seems like they can just do whatever. It's just really weird how quick it bounces up and down. If you put it in perspective, even 165 Australian dollars is still relatively cheap if you know what the prices are in Europe. But the fact it can just change 20 or 40 cents per liter in a day is just bizarre. I have absolutely no idea what the regulations are on this or why these prices even go up and down that much, so please don't pin me down on any of this, but it's just something that I noticed and I find really weird. And the last thing that I want to mention as weird is just because of the story behind it, and Australians, please don't hate me for this, maybe you don't even know this story yourself, so here we go. One thing I find weird in Australia is Canberra. And the reason why Canberra is weird to me is because so many people outside of Australia don't know that it's actually the capital of Australia. A lot of people would think it's Sydney. However, Sydney has never been the capital of Australia. Melbourne has. So the story goes that after Australia got like government and those kind of things, they were debating who would be the capital of their new country. And both Sydney and Melbourne were making a claim to be the capital. And they were just having this stupid fight over it, and they couldn't like come to a conclusion. So they were basically like, we'll just build a new capital. So they built Canberra just about in between of Melbourne and Sydney, and they actually also gave it its own little state, so it wouldn't be like, oh, Sydney isn't the capital, but at least it's in the state of New South Wales. No, they actually made their own little state for that little capital so that no one could fight over it. Come on, if that is not weird to you, like what is? It's such a dumb thing that like grown men couldn't come to a conclusion which city should be the freaking capital, so they just build a new one. And this also hits home the first thing that I said in this video, and that is that Australians can be very different, and especially Melbourne and Sydney seem to have some kind of rivalry going on, and Canberra is the result of it. So I hope you enjoyed this dumb little video about things I find weird in Australia. Please don't attack me in the comments because you have a different opinion. We're all entitled to experience things differently and phrase things differently, I guess. If I at least managed to entertain you a little bit, please give me a thumbs up down below, and I will see you guys very soon.